Tim Ryan's a former Democrat, and he tore into the Democratic Party. There's no other way to describe it. Tore into the Democratic Party because he was talking about RFK and talking about how the Democrats refused to have an open primary for the presidential candidate, and how they refused to have RFK in that primary. And he's claiming to revere the Kennedy family here. Honestly called out their own hypocrisy, right? Because now all these Kennedys are coming out. RFK siblings, cousins, family members, right? And they're all shitting on him. Most of them are shitting on him because he's working with Trump now. And Tim Ryan just kept talking about how they're shutting down the debates, right? They've moved the primary to South Carolina. How does RFK not get in a Democratic Party debate? And he's just talking about it, and he left Bill Maher stunned. So we're gonna play this for you. I really want to play this for you, and I'm not a huge fan of Tim Ryan, but I really appreciated the sentiment here. I really appreciated his words. Like I said, as somebody that used to represent my district, I thought it was cool. So we're gonna play what Tim Ryan said about RFK, talked about on Bill Maher, and here we go.
There was not even going to be a conversation for who was going to be our nominee in the primary, right? They shut down the debates. They moved the primary to South Carolina. There was no. Right. How does Robert Kennedy, Bobby, the original, right? How does his son not get in a Democratic primary debate? How do we as a party say we idealize the Kennedys, and that's the standard of which we all kind of have set for us as a party, as a country.
Well, he's in the administration now.
Well, I know, but that shows what the Democrats have done. They don't want to have any conversation about some of this stuff.
And, again, has he said a lot of nutty things? He has. He's also a guy who takes the plastics thing a little more seriously than anybody I've ever seen in government.
Yeah,
there was not even an...
That's the truth. Regardless of what you hear about RFK, right? When you watch his interviews, when you watch what he says, you can't deny that he wants to help people. And there's a lot of problems in this country that the Democratic Party, like Tim Ryan said, they don't address. Right now they're focused on identity politics. And listen, the right has been too, but with this administration, there's been so many executive orders that the Democrats can't keep up. It's been something like 200, it feels like. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. But so much radical change happening, and we need radical change. But the question is what Trump's doing now with Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, the bunch, Elon, is the radical change that he's putting into effect good radical change or bad radical change? We will find out. I carried the water for Trump too. Shide and I were on this show carrying the water for Trump during the election and then after the election. But post all that happening, there's a decent amount that I don't like. I think we're going in a good direction, our country, but there's a decent amount I don't like. Like, I don't like all this partnership with Israel. I don't like all this support for the killing of innocents. I just don't. I don't think we should sell or give them our weapons. I don't want to give them more money. There's places in this country, like I've said, we've echoed this and we're going to continue to echo this. There are places in this country, California, North Carolina, East Palestine, Ohio, for example, Flint, we can just continue to go on that need help. Baltimore, what are you doing for Baltimore? These places need millions of dollars, right? Maui, disaster relief, or just in general, help the community out. Do something, stimulate the community, give them jobs, give us jobs. But it seems like they care about Israel and Ukraine. I feel like that thing's going to end, right? That disaster, that war is going to end. But it seems like they care about Israel a lot more than they do our country. So I hope that changes. So good for Tim Ryan for calling this out because, like I said, not a huge fan of Tim Ryan, but he's out of politics now, so at least he can relatively be honest. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that. We're going to continue to talk about Bill Maher.